So this is a true story, and had happened to me roughly about 8 years ago. I had just finished locking up my store around 12 a.m. It was a long day and I stayed overtime to make sure I caught up with what needed to be done. So finally, after locking up, I made my way home. I lived roughly around 40 minutes away, so I put in my headphones and made my usual way home. On my way home, there is a shortcut through a small forest area about 5 minutes away from work. As I got to the entrance, I honestly did tell myself, "You sure about this?" As it was completely pitch black. There's a small narrow public path that leads you through it, but after 12 a.m. they switch off a lot of light sources to save money and electricity. And the lights in that forest are unfortunately part of the ones they switch off. However, reading this, you guessed it, I ventured through as it was a normal route for me. After getting about halfway through, I was just keeping my cool, my headphones still blaring music. That was until I reached the fork in the footpath. A bright light had just turned on, and peered around the corner from the trees from the side of me. It was roughly 12:15 a.m. There isn't a single light source in that forest. So immediately, with all the red flags, I took out my headphones, turned the music off, and dimmed the brightness of my phone to avoid any further possibility of drawing attention to myself. To make matters way worse, that light I saw had just turned itself off after I'd say spotting me. This sent me into fight or flight mode. I decided to continue walking slowly, following the dark path I was on. I knew running and panicking would only worsen my situation, and walking through it allowed me to listen closely to the sounds around me, keep me on some sort of footing, just in case that someone did attack. But all I could hear was the wind in the trees and the sounds of my own footsteps. This meant one thing: that someone was definitely hiding and watching me from the dark. After careful and cautious navigation, I luckily managed to make it out and avoid any confrontation. But I remember I was ready for a fight then and there. I don't know how I held onto my composure, but I can definitely say there was someone in that forest that night, and I'm lucky I never found out who. I certainly made sure it was the last time I walked through there that late at night.